Hey everybody, Mike Steele here with BBQ Champs Academy. Looking forward to a great show tonight with an amazing chef, Mr. Montana Max Nelson. And I'm telling you, we are so excited to finally get a chance to release his classes. And we've got him back in the waiting room and going to have a great show tonight. Hope everybody's got a lot of questions for him. I certainly want to get a lot of questions answered about some of the things that we've done. And we are really looking forward to a great show tonight. And I hope everybody had a great holiday weekend over Labor Day weekend. It's just beautiful weather around here in Shreveport, Louisiana. It was a lot of fun. I chose not to do any cooking because I'm preparing for the American World. We're going to be leaving next Tuesday morning about 7 o'clock, heading out. And I spent all weekend trimming up chicken thighs and pork butts and stuff like that, kind of getting everything in the trailer and getting ready. It's going to be a lot of fun next weekend, or not this coming weekend, but the following weekend at the American Royal. We got a lot of big plans for that, but we'll certainly let everybody know a little bit more about that here in just a few moments as we get a few more folks in. Just let us know if you come in. Always great to see these guys here, Chuck and Vanessa at Papa Joe Grilling Supply over in Hutto, Texas. Certainly appreciate you being here. One of our loyal sponsors. And we certainly do appreciate them. Also, Caitlin, appreciate you being here. Excited for the show tonight. Yep, I hope you're going to look forward to it. And I hope I'm sure Brandon will be popping on here in just a moment. We have got our ancillary classes, yay, released. It was a lot of work putting that together. It was a mass amount of footage to go through. But I think everybody's going to be very, very pleased with the classes that Max turned out for everyone. So we'll talk a little bit about that here in just a moment, but I certainly do appreciate everybody being here. John, thank you. Did a pig this weekend, turned out awesome. That is great. I've never cooked a whole hog yet, want to, and we're probably going to end up having Mark Lambert down here maybe in the fall to do that Memphis in May class that we was trying to get done earlier in the year, but just, man, things were just so rough with the COVID and stuff. We just decided we're going to just push it off to the fall. So, but I'm glad the pig turned out good. You got Michael here also. Appreciate you being here. And looking forward to a great show. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Like I said, this past Labor Day was really nice weather down here. It looked like the weather was pretty good across the country. Looked like college football got in full swing. Sure, there was a lot of tailgating going on. So, we didn't, like I said, we didn't cook anything. We just kind of sat back and chilled, and I'm getting ready for the Royal. As you come in, let us know that you're here. We'll certainly give you a shout out. We always appreciate all of our listeners, and looking forward to the show tonight. Give you a little rundown about what we've got planned for BBQ Champs. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make the show next Tuesday at 7 o'clock Central because I am going to be on the road traveling to the American Royal. I'm going to leave out pretty early that morning. I'm going to leave about 6 o'clock. We're going to get within about 100 miles of the facility, and there's an RV park that we're going to probably stop and stay at overnight. And then that way we can leave out that morning and be there at 8 o'clock when the gates open. So if I've got a good internet connection, I will try to do a little podcast from the trailer, but I just don't know what the internet connection is going to be like there. And so I don't know if we're going to have the show on Tuesday. But what I can tell you is I'm going to have my film crew there at the American Royal. They're going to come in on Tuesday afternoon, and we're going to be going live pretty much, the entire event of the American Royal. We'll probably do some live break-in feeds on Thursday. Definitely some on Friday. We've got a bunch of our barbecue cooks that was going to be there. I know for a fact Lee Hickle's going to be there. Sterling Smith, Corey Mikes, David Bosca. Those are just ones that I know of. There's probably Mark Lambert's going to be there. Joey Smith is going to be there. So we've got quite a few folks of BBQ Champs Academy that will be at the Royal this year. And we're going to be going live, breaking in. We'll probably stream the results live on the award ceremony for the Invitational and also the Open. So really looking forward to it. We think we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to get a lot of behind-the-scenes footage for you guys as well. And I believe Matt Overson and Terry Roan is going to be there for a Thursday night steak cook-off. And if our film crew can get there early enough, we may even bring those awards live as well. So be looking for that also. So anyway, let's see. Brandon, pumped about the auxiliary. Can't wait to sign up. Yep, we do have those out. We're going to be talking a little bit about that here in just a minute. I think we've got a great package put together for everybody that you're going to absolutely love. So we are really looking forward to that and answering questions. So if you have any questions about that, Brandon, please make sure that we ask Max about it. So Damon, appreciate you being on here. Hi Max, congrats on the release of the classes. Yep, it's some good classes. I'm telling you what, I ate very good over those 2 days that we had him here. And it was 2 full days of filming plus another day just prepping and getting everything done and shopping. I felt like I bought half of Walmart, half of Target, and probably at least a third of the other 2 or 3 stores that we have around here, buying about 9 million ingredients because this guy is just an unbelievable chef. Flavor bombs after flavor bombs, a lot of different techniques and things. I had seen things that I had never even thought of. And I don't know how his mind works like that. His presentation stuff was phenomenal. We're going to get into that here in just a second. But looks like we got about 24 folks on here right now. We do appreciate everybody being here. And without further ado, I think I've got everything mentioned that I needed to mention about the show for next week, if I'm going to be able to make that or not. But in the meantime, let me thank my sponsors real quick. We certainly do want to thank all of our partners. Mr. Danny Helms at Be Extreme Barbecue. Our heartfelt sympathy does go out to Kay in the passing of her son. I don't know the situation of what he had passed of, but I do know that we need to remember that family. Kay and Danny will not find 2 nicer people in this world. They're super great folks, and they lost their son. And we certainly do want to send our thoughts and prayers to them and their entire family. Also, we want to thank B&B Charcoal for being on board. Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop, Mr. Brian Crawford. I'm going to get a chance to visit with him. I know he's going to the American Royal. He's got an awesome product himself, the Crawford Pit Products. And Papa Joe Grilling Supply in Hutto, Texas. Chuck and Vanessa, they already got on board with us on the show tonight. One of the first ones that came in. Appreciate them. Also, David at Gunter Wilhelm Knives. I tell you what, those knives are absolutely amazing. I trimmed up probably 36 chicken thighs, getting skins done and everything else. I don't scrape skins. These knives are so sharp that I can lay that skin out flat and I can take that knife and go right up underneath it. And in one fell swoop, I can take every bit of the fat off. And these skins are paper thin. And I could not do it without those incredible Gunter Wilhelm knives. They are crazy sharp. So make sure you check them out if you're looking for a good knife. Also, my good buddy John and Ronald Burns over at the Arcasippy Smoke Live Show that comes on Monday nights at 7 o'clock, 7:30. And they've got a great show. They were on just a second ago giving the roundup. But they've got a new company website, steakrubs.com, for all your grilling supplies. And they're going to get into a lot of the barbecue stuff as well. And finally, my good buddy, Dustin Stanley down at the barbecue store in Hempstead, Texas. Appreciate all these guys and all the rubs and stuff that they carry. Just about every one of them that is in our classes from both our barbecue and our steak. So we really do appreciate all of our partners. We could not do what we do without you. Thank you so much. Well, got a couple more folks that's come in. Let's see. Yet prayers to the Hems family. It's going to be a great show tonight. Let's go ahead and bring in our guest, the man, the myth, the legend that everybody wants to be like, Mr. Max Nelson, a.k.a. Montana Max. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, my man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I can't complain. I'm so glad to have finally gotten the 55 million hours worth of footage that we went through your classes. You owe me a date, is all I can say, because I spent so much time in front of that computer screen getting all this stuff put together and edited. I was like, holy cow. I mean, it's just like video after video. 57 videos, over 12 and a half hours of footage. And, man, I tell you.
I told you before I came down it was going to be a different animal.
Yes, it really was. It just was amazing. So before we dive into the classes a whole lot, let's talk a little bit about the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Max Nelson. Montana Max BBQ. Tell us a little bit about your background. How did or was you a barbecue cook that became an amazing chef, or how did it all start for you?
Well, it's kind of crazy, and I saw David mention in there. He goes, he met me at Mountain View, and I remember meeting him there. And he goes, I had no idea I was sitting next to a rock star, and it's kind of funny that he says that because in my previous life, before I got into cooking, I was actually a professional musician for most of my life.
Really?
Yes. So I was chasing the rock star dream, if you will. But yeah, it all started out. I bought a clearance smoker from like a Farm and Fleet store that was on clearance, and it just became that, tale as old as time. You hear this from a lot of barbecue guys, and they get in their first competition, and then it's a slippery slope down the trail when you follow into that barbecue rabbit hole. And that's where I started, in the backyard, and started doing a few competitions there. And then I moved into the pro division. We started, getting some calls and stuff. And quickly, I started expanding into SCA, Culinary Fight Club. Now I'm into world food. And I just found a real passion, not just for barbecue. That's where my heart is. And, if I can smoke anything or grill anything, that's how I'm going to prepare it. But all styles and flavors, and every time it's different and it's unique, and there's science and there's art and there's all these different things that combine for my crazy head that I'm just like, this is where I need to live now. And that's kind of how that path came to a head, with all these different things just like matching up and making my heart beat.
Right. Well, I know you've been very successful. Obviously, you did pretty deadgum good for the short little time that you was in KCBS, but it seemed like you made the transition pretty quick over into the ancillary side of it in KCBS. And then you got into the Culinary Fight Club, which, tell us a little bit about the Culinary Fight Club. What is it like? Give us something that's referenced that we are used to what Culinary Fight Club is about.
Yeah, Culinary Fight Club is an amazing chef competition, and you don't need to be a chef. I mean, I competed in my first Culinary Fight Club, and, just went for it, and I was competing against chefs, but, I'm a barbecue cook, and if you've never checked it out, you really should. It's like Chopped, but in front of a live audience and way higher pressure. It starts out with, you can bring 3 ingredients with you. That's it, okay? Everything else, you have 45 seconds to grab at the same time as every other competitor from a table, and then create your dish in 45 minutes to serve to judges. Cooked, plated, presented.
And you got 45 seconds to shop?
That's it. And if it's, there may be one thing on the table, right? And if somebody else grabs that, you're not like, excuse me, could you grab me some more mayo? It's gone. So you have to be ready to, draw and shoot, and, be able to think on your feet and move on the fly. It's really super exciting. And you really, there's people watching you. You're cooking on a table. They give you 2 burners, 2 of those like camping burners. And there's people literally 1 foot on the other side of the table watching every move you make, going, what are you doing? What's going on here? Hey, this is awesome. Like, talking to you the entire time. You're not separated like you are in KCBS or SCA, where there's no like public interaction. You're on display like a zoo animal in a kitchen, So it's nerve-wracking, and you got to really, hold your things together to make sure you get your plates up on the table, because if you don't make the time limit, they don't score them.
Wow. I don't see how your brain can think fast enough to go, 45 seconds, let me go put together a meal. I couldn't do that. I don't think my brain would think fast enough to go, okay, I got to cook. I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. Because at the same time, I'm assuming not only do you have to cook all that stuff, but you've got to be able to not only cook it, but to present it, to figure out how you're going to do your presentation. Do you get judged on presentation with the Culinary Fight Club?
Absolutely. It's the whole thing. And when you go up there, they don't eat your dishes blind either, like they do in traditional barbecue or SCA competitions. You have to walk up front, get on the mic, and tell them what you served them. So,
Wow.
and you can't be like, well, I put some things together on a plate and hoped it turned out. So you gotta really be ready to rock and roll.
Wow. Well, man, I'll tell you what. Talk about pressure. I mean, I love watching Chops. Me and my wife watch Chops all the time. We love the show. It's amazing how they do that. They put it together, but yeah, they got a basket of ingredients. Okay, you give me a basket. I can sit here and look at, okay, I could do this, I could do that, but to have to go and just, you don't know do you know what's on the table? Did they give you a chance to scout out what's over there?
They'll give you a rough idea, okay? But there's things that they keep secret. There's twists that they won't tell you. And on the day of the competition, they'll be like, all right, and you need to infuse. For instance, one of them was we had to infuse Sam Adams beer. We had no idea that was coming. They're like, this has to be in your dish. Whatever you do, that has to be included. And there's other times, too, where, if something's not in season, they give you a general list. And I had my general list, and one of the items was mint. I love using mint. It's very fresh. It's very vibrant, right?
Oh, yeah, I found that out.
When I got to the competition, it was January in Minnesota. There was no mint. It just wasn't the right time. So it wasn't on the table. So you had to, adjust your recipe on the fly to, balance that out.
Right. So that got you the Culinary Fight Club. You won it. Obviously, you're a Culinary Fight Club champion. Congratulations. That sounds like that alone. And you're cooking against trained professional chefs, to me, is what you was telling me. I mean, like, that's tough to do. You're going up against the best of the best that are out there that compete and do that. They do this on a regular basis, don't they?
On a daily. One of the competitors that I won against, and my dad had always told me a line, and my dad played professional football and was a coach for many years, and he always told me, if you knew who was going to win, why would they play the game? And you never know who's going to win, and that's why they play the game, and anybody can come out on top. And I competed against a guy, amazing chef, amazing talent in Minneapolis, and he was the head chef for a conglomerate chain of 5 different upscale restaurants in downtown.
Wow.
I just happened to come out on top that day.
Yeah, that day. Yeah. So your dad played professional football.
He did. He was played in the World League back in the day.
Okay, back in the day. I'll be dang. Well, that's great. So you did great. I think you won the Culinary Fight Club Champion. That was in 2019, and then last year in 2020, a 3-time category World Food Champion. Holy freaking! Not 1, not 2, but 3. So what was there's 3, just give me 1, 2, 3. What was one of the categories that you first place category in?
One of them was presentation is everything, where we were charged to make a beautiful dish.
Yeah. On your plating and presentation is, I don't know how your brain thinks like that. When you was doing these classes, I was like, what are you doing? I'm doing, what are you doing that? I would never in a million years thought of some of the things that you was doing in presentation. And, you're just like, well, I am a world food champion, I was like, in presentation. And I remember you sent me over some of the pictures what you did, and it was, to me, just insane what you was cooking. I was like, man, that's got to be some of the prettiest food that I've ever seen. I'm gonna go ahead and keep talking about what was the second one. I'm gonna see if I can pull up those pictures real quick, Max. I think you had sent them to me in a video. So yeah, I've got them right here. I tell you what, give me just 1 second. I'm gonna go share the screen and see if we can pick this up. But just to give you an idea of some of the stuff that you was turning in at World Food. Now, I don't know if all of these are. Can you see the screen here?
Yep.
Okay, look at that handsome guy. So there was, presentation is everything.
That is the presentation winning right there. And that was a tamale dish I did.
Okay, look at these dishes. First place, thankful sides.
Yep.
So what was that?
That was charged with a side dish that, raises above and beyond. One of the things World Food looks for is what they call an X factor, right?
Right.
And in order to really score and really win, you have to have some component or methodology to your dish that really elevates it beyond your everyday.
Right. Wow. Smoked and roasted Brussels sprouts and squash pumpkin bowls. Holy cow.
And I don't really like squash or Brussels sprouts, and I love that.
Yeah, that's unreal.
I shocked myself.
Yeah, that picture's not quite coming in. And then hot tomato. So you did a tomato dish. Okay,
Correct.
That's a rustic, what is it? A rusted what?
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. And just some of the other dishes that you had sent me when I was sitting here looking at these dishes was just like, I love that one. There's a football field down there with looks like some kind of sub sandwich. Just
That's my
amazing.
massive meatball hoagie. That thing was literally as long as my arm.
That is unreal. That one is one that just absolutely blew me away. I don't know what that was.
That's a hazelnut huckleberry and strawberry crepe cake.
Golly, just absolutely beautiful. All right, so who's the pretty lady?
Who's the pretty lady? That's
we're not worried about you. We know who it is. That's Kansas City Jan.
That is Kansas City Jen, my cooking partner,
my
partner in life and my partner in competition, the one that keeps me reined in a little bit there.
There's another beautiful burger. It looks like we did something very similar to that in the class.
We did a takeoff of that one in the class. Yes, we did.
Yeah, that is beautiful. There's another dish. I'm just telling you, some of the dishes you got, even got a really fancy drink. That looks like some kind of sandwich.
That's a Monte Cristo. That's what earned my entry into World Food, which World Food is coming up in a month and a half here in Dallas. And that is a Monte Cristo sandwich infused with that beer as a dipping sauce.
I got you. Just some amazing dishes, man. Absolutely amazing. There's the Culinary Fight Club. There's Youre. I tell you what, some of the stuff that I've seen, that looks amazing. That looks like some kind of pomegranates that are on top of some kind of tart.
Yep.
Look at that. Just some of your food is just mind-blowing. Man, I tell you what, there's no doubt you've got it figured out when it comes to the presentation side of it. I can see why, you won first place in that. Man, I watched it when you was putting all this food together for the BBQ Champs Academy class. So, three different category. First place, Culinary Fight Club Champion. You're obviously a very well trained chef. You're a very good cook, and I'm very, very glad to have you on as BBQ Champs Academy. So, let's kind of dive in a little bit. And if anybody's got any questions about Max's Tell-All class, it's let me just run over there real quick just to kind of show you what he's done, the classes that we have put together for everyone for ancillaries. And these classes will work for anything, SCA and any of the alphabet soup, as we like to call it, IBCA, CBA, KCBS. It doesn't matter. If you're in a barbecue competition and you're looking for an ancillary, something that's a little different, this would be the place to come. This guy can help you not only in presentation, but in flavor profiles and everything else. We've got 4 different categories. We was going to price these things originally at $179, but we're going to do a special introductory offer for only $129. The $129 will get you 3 of the classes. So he's got chicken wings. We did a zesty orange wing. We did a sticky Asian wing, and we did a peach mango wing. That class is $129, so I'll kind of explain to you how this works. All 3 of these classes, 20 videos, 2.5 hours worth of videos here, is $129. If you sign up for just this class, we will set up a private Facebook page where you will have access to Max on the private Facebook page. We realize how important that is for the cooks once y'all buy these classes to continue to get feedback from the teacher. So Max has said, I want to be able to help everybody. I want to be able to look at their box. I want to be able to critique. I want to be able to give them ideas. So there will be a private Facebook page for the wings. The next up we did 18 videos over 4 hours cooking some of the most outrageous gourmet burgers I've ever seen in my life. The stuffed fusion burger was phenomenal. The Angry Rooster burger, I love that one. And the one that I was absolutely surprised on, and probably thought it was the best one for of the other two, and I never thought I would have liked it, was this Maui Wowie burger. And it blew me away. That one, the stuffed fusion burger was another one. I would have to say those were two of my top. The Angry Rooster burger was very good, but there was something with that Maui Wowie burger that just, like, I would have thought I would have hated. I was like, man, I don't like that. And when I ate it, and I'm not going to tell you what's on it, but when I ate it, I couldn't stop eating it. So it's just amazing.
I felt like I was your mom. I was like, just try it, Mike.
Just try it. And I was just like, oh my goodness, this is not going to be good. And you took something in that dish that I do not like, and could not stop eating it. I was blown away. So if you want to buy that class, it's $129 as well. You'll get access to a private Facebook page. These are normally, like I said, $179. Next up is appetizers. Oh my gosh, blew it out of the park. Appetizers, you did a Southwest Fiesta chicken roll-up. Unbelievable. 10 videos totaling 2.5 hours. You also said, sliders are one of the most popular things out there, and you did these zesty Italian sliders. It's 2 videos, but they're very long videos, almost an hour long here. And you created probably one of the absolute best little sliders that I've ever had in my life. And the shrimp and grits, and I'm not going to tell you what kind of grits they are, but I'm from Louisiana, and we eat a lot of shrimp and grits down here. I cook a lot of grits. I'm a grit-eating fool. And shrimp. Those were the best grits I've ever ate in my life, and I'm not going to tell you what you did to the grits to make them so incredible. And the shrimp was absolutely phenomenal. But that dish right there, all 3 of them were mind-blowing crazy at how good they were. Once again, you can buy just that set of series of classes, appetizers, get access to a private Facebook page. Last and not least, the desserts. I am a sweet holic. This first one, 9 videos, 3.5 hours. Now that's how detailed these classes are. A smoked bourbon bacon peach crumble. Now I called it a cobbler. You call it a crumble. We debated that back and forth on the deal.
You say
that
potato.
I say
potato.
potato. That one, there was a couple of these dishes that gave me chill bumps, but I remember that one specifically because I do not really care for peach crumble, cobbler, whatever you want to call it. I'm not a big peach cobbler person or crumble person. That one gave me chill bumps. It was so dadgum good. I was mind blown at that. The Foster banana pudding was a different take on a banana pudding that I've ever seen in my life. I love banana Foster, and I love what you did with that. And then you did this white chocolate mousse pie, which to me was so freaking delicious. And I loved your food is just insane. The way that you presented all this stuff is insane. So you can buy any of the classes, the categories, wings, burgers, appetizer, dessert, any of them. If you want to buy them as individual, you can. They're $129. But one of the things that we wanted to really do for you was get you Buy the Max All Access Bundle. It gets you all 4 of those categories, wings, burgers, appetizers, dessert, 57 videos over 12.5 hours. You get all of them for only $399. That's, if you take our regular price, that's almost $317 in savings. And you will get immediately added to all 4 Facebook pages where you can ask questions. And that right there, we feel like is going to be the biggest way to jump into this and get all of them. You'll be there to help them. And
let me say this too. When you buy
absolutely.
These classes, you're not buying recipes. I want to make that clear. There's a reason these are so long, and when Mike says they're detailed, and trust me, he was on the end of that detail stick for 2 long days there when we recorded these and got this all together. But you're getting methodology, you're getting mindsets, you're getting ideas, and I implore people with these classes to use them as a place, and this is where the Facebook group becomes really cool, right? It's not just asking questions. It becomes a community affair where you can work together, not only with me, but these community of chefs that we've created here, where it takes on its own life, right? So you're learning techniques and things that don't just apply to 4 categories. These classes apply to anything that you're cooking across the board. You're learning so much. You're not just getting, you're like, what if, Bill buys this recipe too, and we both turn it in? That's not the concept. You're learning things far beyond that. And no matter how seasoned of a dog you are in the cooking game, and myself included, and that's what makes it so fun, is there's always something new to learn. There's always new ways and new tricks and new tips and new methods, and you're getting all of that with these classes to really elevate your game, no matter the category, no matter the sanctioning body. If you just want to impress the in-laws at the backyard barbecue, these classes are for you. You will impress people. You'll impress your friends and your family, and in their award-winning recipes as well. But you're going to learn so much beyond that. I can't even. Well, that's the reason why there's so much footage. I can tell you, it's just happens to be in a class.
Yeah, it's there. Well, I mean, and I give you an example of that. You really touched something that was really good there. Let's go back to this, and so we'll go down here to this. It's a Southwest Fiesta chicken roll-up. I remember we was doing, I think we even mentioned in the class, you can even do that with a ribeye steak.
Yep.
Absolutely. If you on this crumble, if you don't like peach, which I don't like peach crumble, peach cobbler, it was delicious, but you could do the same thing with cherry. You could do the same thing with apple. And we talked about that. So you could, just because it's this, all you have to do is substitute just the fruit. You could substitute the chicken for, I guess you could substitute it for shrimp. You could substitute it with steak. You could substitute any protein.
We talk a lot about variations and ways to make your dishes your own in these classes. And that's important to remember is, like I said, you're not just getting a recipe. You're getting so much beyond that. And that's what I really want to impart through these classes is you're not just buying 3 recipes. You're buying all sorts of,
you're buying knowledge.
All the classes. Yeah, exactly.
You're buying knowledge. You're buying your knowledge and your techniques and your methods and things that you're doing. I mean, these burgers, there was something that you put in one of these burgers, and I don't remember if it was, I don't think it was the stuffed. It may have been the Angry Rooster burger or maybe it was the Maui. I don't remember. But you put something in that burger, and I was like, you're doing what? I had never in my life heard of putting that in a burger. I've heard of grilling it and putting it on the burger, but not in the meat itself. And then I was like, what are you doing that? And you told me, And I was like, man, I never, ever, ever would have thought about doing that in the burger. And it was just, you blew me away, I really will say, with a lot of the techniques and things that you did. I just was shocked. So here's some of here's one of the burgers. I don't know if that's the Maui. That's not the Maui Wowie.
That's the Rooster.
That's the Rooster. So that's one of them. There is the Bananas Foster banana pudding. And I wish I could scroll through these without having to go. There is the smoked bourbon bacon peach crumble. And it's got raspberries in it too. Absolutely breathtaking appearance. And it was just absolutely phenomenal. It gave me chill bumps. These were unbelievable. These were the Southwest chicken egg rolls. The flavor on those was amazing. I couldn't believe how you did it. The color of this is another one of the burgers. That one is awesome. There's some of the chicken wings that you did. I love your presentation on how you put things and what you put it on. There is the shrimp and grits. Absolutely phenomenal of what you did with those. And he let me cook the grits because I'm a grit cooking fool. He just told me some of the things to do. There's another one of the wing categories. And your presentation on everything was just absolutely unbelievable. There's another burger that you did. And there is the white chocolate mousse pie. Oh, my gosh. Man, I thought I died and went to heaven when I was eating that. It was just absolutely phenomenal. There's them little zesty Italian sliders. Golly, those things were packed with so much flavor. It was insane. Another one of the wing. That's the zesty orange wing box. And I tell you what, it is absolutely an amazing class, a lot of techniques. And if anybody's got any questions, for Max, now is definitely the time to ask these questions. What we're trying to cover them. I have no doubt that buying the Max, will be amazing for the SE Ancillary. Yeah, Brandon, I'll tell you right now. I mean, if it was me and I was getting in it, that's the one. $3.99, 57 videos, 12 and a half hours.
You're getting your bang for your buck.
You get 4 categories, 3 recipes on each one. Access on a private Facebook page where you can ask questions on anything, and it's just definitely the way to go. No questions. So, Pig's Eye Barbecue. Nice work, Max. So, anyway, it's just an unbelievable. I think the techniques, the flavor profiles, and your thinking in that brain of yours of how you was putting things together. I'm starting to realize now, like when the Culinary Fight Club stuff comes in, you got 45 seconds, you got to go over there and get everything. And if somebody gets one of the things on it, you're like, now I'm starting to see like how you putting all this together. Because we're walking through the grocery store and he's like, well, let me get this and let me get that and let me get this. I was like, man alive, I still have some of the stuff sitting over here on the table. I got one of them big 6-foot tables. It is cram packed with stuff from the class. It's still cram packed. I've never bought so much stuff in my life.
We used it all, though.
You used it. There was nothing that you did not go through. So, anyway, Philip, I don't know if you're still on here, man. Congratulations. He cooked up in Georgia this weekend. Had about 6, I think, of the Texas cooks up there at one of the cook-offs up in South Carolina. He grand championed it. Man, congratulations, Philip. That was a huge, huge win for you. And I hope you're still on here. Man, congratulations. Look forward to seeing you at the American Royal here in another week or so. All right, got a question. Got them coming in. That's what. Let's get some questions going. Alfred, what inspired you to cook? What was your inspiration?
Honestly, coming from my background of being a musician and I was a music teacher for years, a lot of music stuff. And to be honest, it was kind of just dumb luck. It was boredom. And I was like, music had kind of slowed down for me. And when I moved and I was just like, this is a cheap smoker. This could, I like meat. No matter what I've done in my life, I've always enjoyed good cooked proteins. And I kind of just fell into it. And, as we said earlier in the show, my dad was a professional football player. And I've always had competition in my blood, right? I love to compete. And I love that, that fight and that battle and the camaraderie that it brings and all that kind of stuff. And so when I got into a barbecue competition, I mean, that was it. I was like, food, barbecue, competition, all these things all just kind of hit. And then beyond that, the one thing that keeps driving me all the time is it makes people so happy. Like when you cook somebody good food, whether it's competition or not, but you have your friends over or your family or whatever, and you cook for them and you cook them something amazing. I mean, that's love on a plate, right? And that's what really inspires me to keep going and keep coming up with ideas, because it's such a great way to show that, to people that are around you that you care about. And I mean, that's kind of how it started, even in the driveway with that old propane smoker that I got on clearance is I saw that reaction, right, that I got from people that were eating my food. And that's what really got me into it. Yeah.
Well, David Meyer, I just maxed out. Now just need to find the time to study the classes. I normally come in dead ass last, and the few ancillaries I have entered, nowhere to go but up. Well, I promise you, David, I think if you cook these classes, I think you're going to move from dead ass last to the top. So they are very good. And one of the things that we really, really tried to do, because we knew there was a lot of state cookers, and David, congratulations, man. I think I heard you had another outstanding weekend this weekend. The classes have definitely helped your game in the state competition world for sure. Congratulations. But one of the things that we did do, knowing that a lot of people are wanting to cook steaks, but they're still wanting to dive over into the ancillaries, right? So we try to have as much of the stuff where it is pre-cooked before you ever go. So you can already pre-cook this, you can pre-cook that, you can pre-cook this. I think the Southwest rolls was one of them. You could pre-cook all the stuff, and all you have to do is get there, warm it up, roll out the dough, fry that, and that's done. And that is a little tricky. That was probably the most difficult, was rolling up that dough, and it was easy frying it. That was quick, like a minute and a half tops. And we talk a little bit about that. That's the only thing. You'd have to have your pot ready with some grease in it, and just practice that roll up. Once you get them rolled up, you're good. And but we try to have as much of the stuff pre-cooked as you possibly could, and we talk about that in the classes. A lot of the stuff for the burgers, a lot of the burger stuff could be pre-made, where all you had to do was just cook the burger patty, put it together, put it in the box, go walk. So that's one of the things that we really try to dive into. So let's see here. What was the hardest thing for you to cook and get creative with? That's a good question.
That is a good question. I can tell you, every cook, whether, especially in competition, has its own inherent challenges. Some of those are self-created because, just like anyone, I've forgotten an ingredient at home and have not realized it until it was time to add it.
Right.
Those things happen, but you got to think on the fly. I was really disappointed, but completely understood why. But I live now in Arkansas, in Northwest Arkansas, and unfortunately, they just canceled the World Squirrel Cook-Off here, which is a SCA Ancillary this year. And that one I was struggling with to come up with some creative ways to cook squirrel.
Right.
But there's always next year on that one. As far as in the past, the second Culinary Fight Club that I did, I came in second place on that one. Lost by 1 point on it. It was a tough go, and there was like 10 chefs in that competition, and I can just remember it was really difficult. And my partner, Kansas City Jen, was giving me the business because one of the things that I wanted to create required mayonnaise, and I forgot to grab it off the table. And so I had to get creative because our whole dish revolved around this sauce that we were making for it that required mayonnaise. And so it turned from mayonnaise into a cocktail sauce, which we just had to go on the fly. But I mean, especially when you got a 45-minute clock ticking down on you, that's where creativity gets stressful. A lot of times it's just fun, right? You're like, a little dabble of this, and we'll add this, and hey, whatever. But in that competition setting, I remember that was a very stressful moment because we hinged our dish on that ingredient, and I did not grab it off the table in that time limit. Wow,
that's crazy. Wow.
And Jen will tell you to this day that's what cost us the point.
Yeah.
And it very well could have. We don't know, but either way, still a great time, and you still got to go on no matter what.
Right. So Michael wanted to know, and I'll answer this one. How complicated are the dishes? They're not complicated. We spent so much time to make the dishes very easy to do. I would say well over half of them can be 75-80% of the stuff can be made at home on a Wednesday or Thursday. I think you let us said, make it on Thursday, make it on Wednesday, make it on Thursday. Keep it fresh. You're about the most freshest. Everything's fresh. You can pre-make a lot of this stuff up, so when you get there, you have little prep time. The crumble, man, simple. Ingredients go in a skillet, cook, done. I mean, that was like one of the simplest desserts to do. The bananas Foster, banana pudding, pretty simple process. There's a lot of stuff that you can already pre-make for that. The chocolate mousse pie, I think there's a lot of stuff that you could literally pretty much well put that whole thing together.
Absolutely.
Could that be pre-made? I can't remember. Can you pre-make that?
It can, absolutely. And like I said earlier in the show, as you're not buying just recipes here. It's not about the complexity. You're not going to require yourself to go on Amazon and buy yourself a chef jacket and a funny hat in order to make this, right? This is, these are successful recipes that can be made on time limits, but you're getting methodology, you're getting techniques, you're getting so much more than a recipe that's going to apply to whatever you like to cook. It's going to up the level on whatever category you have. There's some odd categories out there this year, like watermelon, for example, sweet corn, all kinds of different things. But these techniques and methodologies and flavor profiles can all be adjusted. They can all be created to your personal taste, and they can all be taken to the next level through the methodology and ideas and flavor building and all these different things that we talk about. So it's not about the complexity of the recipe so much as it's the whole,
the whole thing
mentality around it.
Yeah. And the thing is, you was talking about corn. Well, we have a Southwest, chicken fajita fiesta roll up that's packed full of corn and black beans and stuff like that. And I think we even talked about it. Well, you could use that as a corn, just put more corn in it, maybe put a side dish of corn with it to where the corn is still the star, but yet you could still incorporate that in it because it's got corn and stuff in it. And so
there's where the Facebook group comes in. It's like, which of these recipes, what would you do? I'm an open book, man. I got no secrets to hide. And, I want everyone to, there's a big reason I cook. Okay. And I'm going to share this secret with you right now. That's not really a secret. I have so much freaking fun doing it. Yeah. And that's what I want to share with everyone is you can make so much flavor and do so many cool things and have the time of your life doing it at the same time. That's what's cool about it. And that's what this group, it's like, hey, we can work together and, help each other learn and we all become better.
That's it. That's exactly it. Brandon says, I am interested in world food competition. Any recommendation for a home cook / SCA ancillary cook to get started with world foods?
Yes, absolutely. So world food is crazy, right? If I was to compare it to a music festival, it'd be like the Lollapalooza of food, right? There's 10 different categories that you can take part in. I'm going to be in sandwich category coming up this first week in November. We'll be in Dallas competing in that. But there's 9 other categories that you can get in. Steak has one. Burgers, recipe, sandwich, like I said. There's soup this year. There's seafood. There's a ton of different stuff. And the easiest way to get in and the start experience it is every year they have a deal called Taste of America, where you can do an online submission. You submit a recipe and a photo, and you can get a draw from your state. And I got the number 1 draw from Minnesota to go compete in that with that sandwich that we looked at earlier. But that's the easiest way. There's qualifiers all over that are live cooking qualifiers. But a great way to get in is that Taste of America competition that happens every spring.
Okay.
All right. You just jump in. That's what I did. I was like, there's no way this is going to do it. And then all of a sudden they're like, number 1, bam. And I got paid entry when you get to first place. Yeah. With your number 1 seed, you get paid entry. And if you are in the top 5 in your state, you get an invite to go to the big dance.
Wow, man, you are phenomenal. Good gracious. You are just, I'm telling you, man, the food that you cooked on this set was some of the best food that I ever ate. I mean, some of the burgers were unbelievable. The chicken wings, flavor profiles that I had never, it's not your typical wing. It's good, just different, just a zesty orange. And I was like, what in the world is this going to taste like? And it just had this different flavor. That sticky Asian was delicious. Like, God, that peach mango with this other stuff and you did a homemade sauce on one. You did some commercial sauces on the other to make things easy. You mixed it up, giving ideas. And
there's so many awesome flavors out there. And that goes back to the complexity too. Not everything we're doing is, well, you have to stay up till 2 a.m. making that from scratch. We've all got lives, man. We've got kids. I've got fur babies that are running around our house that require attention. Right. We've got jobs. We've got this. We've got that. You can't stay up till 3 a.m. making some sort of special sauce every time you go to a competition. I mean, store-bought commercial stuff. There's people that do that for a living, and I had the privilege of using and showing tons of different sauces and seasonings from all sorts of people that make fantastic flavor combinations on flavor profiles that you can build very easily.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was funny. You came in and it was like, you use that? Oh yeah, I use that. You use that one? Oh yeah, I use it. And some of it's some of our cook stuff. And I was like,
Oh
wow.
yeah.
He's like, hey, I'm not stupid. I know who's got the good stuff out there, and I'm going to utilize it. So it's good flavors. They've built these rubs for a reason, and they're very, very good. And you got to use them. So.
Yeah, I think it was an old episode. Maybe it was Barbecue Pitmasters or something. But they asked old Johnny Trigg, and they asked him, they go, Johnny, what's your rub? You make your own rub? And he goes, no, I don't make my own rub. There's people that have spent way more hours than I have in the day perfecting rubs. They're out there,
Yeah,
So
that's exactly right. They're exactly right. Well, I tell you what, Max, it's really an amazing class. I think what I liked about it after it was all said and done, number one, the food was phenomenal. You made me like dishes that I wouldn't normally have turned my nose up and didn't want to eat, and they were two of them were probably my two favorite. The two that I the least thought I was just didn't even want to eat turned out to be probably two of my absolute favorite of all of them. Which I just can't even believe that. And my wife even looked at me. She said, "You hate that." And I was like, "Not this. This stuff is good." I was like, "Oh my gosh, you ain't getting none of this." Saying that crumble, oh my gosh, that stuff was freaking out of bounds good. But I liked the flavor profiles. I liked how we talked a lot outside the box of what you could do, how you could do this. We spent a lot of time filming this. I mean, you got 12 and a half hours of video. And we try to really just get all the details narrowed down. David, I know you've already bought the class. We're working on getting we just got this thing launched today, and we're working on getting all the Facebook pages for each one of the groups. So each category, wings, burgers, desserts, and appetizers, will have its own Facebook group. If you buy them individually, best thing to do is buy the Max All Access and get all four of them. And that gives us a chance to really continue to help you. We've seen what that does for the cooks to be able to go back and forth with the pit master, the grill master in this case, our chef. But I love the food. I love the simplicity. Most of them were very easy to do. A couple of them were a little difficult. The roll up of the rolls were, the Southwest Fiesta roll, but the flavor, you got to do it. I mean, it's just, I was scared to death because I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to mess it up. I'd already put my big mitt in one of them. No, you don't do that. I was like, oh my God, I run his dish. So you'll see that in the video. You'll know exactly which one that was. And I was just scared to death to touch anything. So, but he showed how to do it. It was easy. And it's just, and we talk about some of the things that would make it a little easier. But there's nothing to be scared of, and that's the great thing. You can cook most of these dishes, you can cook in like no time, they're ancillaries, right? Yeah. And a lot of the stuff you can pre-make before you even go to the competition. And that's what we try to do. We try to make as many sauces, as many of this, as much of the ingredients that we possibly could before you ever went to the competition. So when you got there, you just warmed everything up, put it together, done. And that's, to me, is what the whole entail of the class was to make it super easy for the steak cooker that wants to get into ancillary without taking too much of time away from his steak competition. So I was talking to Will Collier today, and he said, man, I want to do them, but it's just taking so much time away from my steak. And then I was like, I thought in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm glad we did it that way. So has anybody got any other questions for Max? I mean, got a lot of people, anything. Got something, let us know. Tell us what you think of the classes. Is this something everybody's looking forward to? Obviously, we've been having a ton of people waiting to get these classes. They're out. Sorry it took so long. It was a lot of footage to go through and get together. And we don't do cuts and takes and retakes and everything. We just roll with it. But it was just assembling 57 videos and trying to get them all in the order and watching them and all the pop-up notes that everybody loves that we put in these things. It just took me a long time to go through them. And
this is a great time of the year, too, to start, getting your practice on, start learning new things, and get ready for that next points chase, that new season that's coming around. This is when people start having a little bit more time to hone those skills. So fall's a perfect time, fall going into winter.
Oh, yeah.
before the holidays. Like, this is where you can really gear up and get ready.
Yeah, you got, so now to the end of the year, get these classes, get them, start working on them, go out, see if you can get that ancillary first place. And if you can, you got that ticket to the world finals over in Dallas or in Fort Worth. Who knows? You may very well be the next SCA ancillary world champion that they're going to have for next year.
That's why they play the game, my man. That's why they play the game. Yep. Any given Sunday.
Any given Sunday. That's exactly right. You can do it just as good as anybody else. There's no doubt. Well, I don't guess nobody else got any more questions. Thanks for everybody joining in tonight. Max, thank you, man. You got any final comments?
Yeah, I'll just say this real quick. I mean, like we said, there's a lot of information, and, for anybody that purchases the class, let me just say, it's an honor to be able to help anybody, and thank you in advance if you do. And I look forward to meeting you in the Facebook group and, working together. That's what it's all about. Community, learning together, helping each other out. So thank you in advance for that. And thank you for your time tonight, Mike, and everyone that spent time with us here. It's been a privilege.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And absolutely. And I know you're going to be out now. You moved from Minnesota to Arkansas, where you'll be more centrally located for SCAs. That is how committed he is to getting out there and cooking now in Minnesota. There's just not a lot of stuff up there. So right after the show we filmed, he was like, I'm moving to Arkansas. I'm centrally located where I can go to a lot of different competitions. And then once you just got moved in your house, and once you get everything going, you're going to try to start hitting a lot of the competitions. So obviously, if you bought his class, make sure you go up to him, talk to him a little bit about it. And I appreciate it. Max, thanks being part of BBQ Champs Academy and being our first chef, our first ancillary chef on it. So going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait. Welcome to the Southern Brethren. And also see you on the trail. Arkansas is better anyway. Absolutely. Well, I've had a lot of fun. I hope everybody has. I hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Our numbers are down a little bit, probably because a lot of people are still traveling back from vacation from the weekend and stuff like that and getting everything done. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make the show next Tuesday at 7 o'clock because I'm going to be on the road going to the American Royal, but be assured of this, we will be going live at the American Royal Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We will be doing a lot of live stream. We're going to give you a lot of behind the scene footage. It's going to be a great time. I hope everybody's, if you are up there and you are at the American Royal, make sure you come by and check me out. I think we're in spot 472, I think is our spot. Anyway, but as we always do when we close out these classes, we appreciate all you being here. Have a lot of fun and smoke on.